Before diving into this story, hit that like button, drop a comment below, and subscribe, because here, every story is a new emotion you won't want to miss. New York, the city that never sleeps. But on this night, the lights vanished, and with them, control, certainty, comfort. In the heart of darkness, two strangers found themselves trapped, and the unexpected began to unfold. The elevator slowly ascended inside a sleek, modern hospital. Clara stepped in first, a woman in her early 30s, a determined doctor with a no-nonsense attitude. Her professional demeanor was clear in every step, her eyes focused and serious. Moments later, Raphael joined her, also in his 30s, a charismatic but arrogant advertising executive, casual and dripping with sarcasm. They barely exchanged a glance before the elevator jolted to a sudden halt. Lights flickered, then went dim, replaced by the faint glow of emergency bulbs. The confined space felt colder, heavier. Clara frowned, her patience already thinning. Seriously? Right now? She snapped, voice sharp. Raphael chuckled dryly, smirking. Welcome to the apocalypse, Doctor. Bet you never imagined getting stuck in an elevator with me. His tone was playful, but edged with challenge. Clara crossed her arms defiantly, meeting his gaze with equal fire. Not even in your worst nightmares. The silence between them was thick, a mix of disdain and daring. Both trapped in that small box, neither willing to show weakness. Two worlds collided, professional rigor against sarcastic charm, setting the stage for a night neither would forget. The elevator was plunged into complete darkness. The only sounds filling the small space were their breathing and the distant pounding of their hearts. Raphael broke the silence with a teasing tone, always so in control. I bet you've got fears you keep buried deep. Clara's voice was cold but steady. Everyone does. But I'm not the type to cry in the dark. Raphael let out a low laugh, the kind that hides pain. I lost my mom not long ago, he confessed quietly. Ever since, I throw myself into work just to stop thinking. His usual charm was gone, replaced by a raw honesty that caught Clara off guard. She shifted, the tension between them shifting into something less hostile. Slowly, Clara revealed her own burden. My dad's sick, she admitted, her voice softer now. I've had to be strong for him, for everyone really. Sometimes it feels like I'm drowning under all the weight. Her eyes flickered with vulnerability, something Raphael hadn't expected to see. It was the first crack in her armor. They shared a glance, longer than before, no words needed. In that moment, the walls they'd built between them seemed to crumble. The elevator wasn't just a trap anymore. It was a refuge for two souls who rarely showed their true selves. A fragile connection was beginning to form. Raphael's voice dropped to a whisper. You don't have to be strong all the time, you know. Clara's lips twitched, almost a smile, but she looked away. Easy to say when you're not the one trying to hold everything together. Their banter faded into silence again, but the mood had changed. Less confrontation, more understanding. Minutes passed, filled with small confessions and quiet moments. Raphael talked about his mother's laughter, how it haunted him when he was alone. Clara spoke of the long nights by her father's bedside, the exhaustion that never quite left her. The elevator was no longer just metal and wires. It held stories, hopes, and fears. Raphael's sarcasm softened into empathy. Funny how we hide behind jokes, huh? Like armor? Clara nodded slowly, eyes searching his in the dim light. Maybe it's easier than facing the truth head-on. There was a fragile honesty between them now, a mutual recognition of their shared struggle. A sudden noise outside made them both tense, but neither spoke. Instead, Raphael reached out cautiously and brushed Clara's hand with his. It was a small gesture, but enough to break the last bit of distance. Clara's breath hitched, and for a moment, the fear of the dark seemed to fade. The elevator remained still, time stretching on, but something had shifted. The night that began with anger was now filled with empathy and a tentative trust. They were no longer strangers trapped by circumstance. They were two people slowly weaving a fragile bond in the dark. As dawn approached, the first light of day seemed far away, but inside that tiny elevator, a new hope was born. The blackout might last longer, but they were no longer alone. Together, they faced the darkness, not as enemies, but as something new, maybe even something beautiful. Raphael reached into his pocket and pulled out a small chocolate bar, offering half to Clara with a gentle smile. The simple gesture was a quiet truce in the confined space. Clara hesitated, then accepted it, a shy smile spreading across her face. "You know," she said softly, "maybe I don't hate you as much as I thought." His eyes lit up with relief and amusement. "I always thought I was the only one who didn't know how to act when the world goes dark," Raphael replied with a laugh. The tension that had gripped the elevator melted away, replaced by a warmth neither expected. Their laughter filled the space, light and genuine, a sharp contrast to the earlier coldness. For the first time, the elevator felt less like a trap and more like a shared sanctuary. A comfortable silence settled between them as they sat side by side, the city's silence outside matching their newfound peace. Raphael glanced at Clara, noting the softness in her eyes. She caught his gaze and didn't look away, the unspoken connection growing stronger with each passing second. In that moment, nothing else mattered, not their jobs, their worries, or the darkness outside. Suddenly, the low hum of a generator sparked to life, breaking the stillness. Slowly, the lights flickered back on, casting a warm glow inside the elevator. Both of them blinked against the brightness, reluctant to let go of the bubble they'd created. The return of light was both a relief and a bittersweet reminder that their time together was ending. Clara sighed softly, the corners of her mouth tugging into a genuine smile. "I guess the blackout isn't the only thing that's been fixed tonight," she said quietly. Raphael nodded, his expression tender. "Yeah, sometimes the darkest moments bring out the brightest connections." Their eyes met, an unspoken promise lingering in the air. As the elevator doors began to slide open, the world outside rushing back in, neither wanted to break the fragile spell. They stood up slowly, hearts lighter, changed in ways they hadn't expected. The night of darkness had brought something new, a chance at something real, something worth holding on to. The elevator doors slid open, revealing the bright hospital corridor bathed in morning light. Clara and Raphael stepped out side by side, their eyes meeting with a newfound respect and a spark of something deeper. The tension that had once defined their relationship had dissolved, replaced by a quiet understanding. Clara broke the silence with a soft smile. "I never thought a blackout could ignite something like this." Raphael returned her smile, his usual sarcasm softened by sincerity. "Sometimes it's in the darkness that we find our true light." They exchanged a look filled with unspoken promises, as if the night had rewritten their story forever. The chaos of the outside world felt distant now, insignificant compared to what they had shared in that small elevator. As they walked down the corridor, side by side, the bustling hospital seemed less overwhelming. The world outside continued at its frantic pace, but inside, they carried a calm they hadn't known before. Clara glanced at Raphael and chuckled quietly. Who would have thought? A publicist and a doctor stuck together and actually getting along. Raphael laughed, the sound genuine and warm. "Yeah, the universe has a funny way of forcing people to connect." They paused by the exit, neither ready to say goodbye just yet. Their hands brushed, tentative and electric, a silent acknowledgement of something new blossoming between them. Outside, the city was waking up, the streets slowly filling with life and light. But the memory of that long, dark night lingered in their hearts. It was a reminder that even in the darkest moments, there's a chance for hope, for connection, and for love to take root. Sometimes you just have to be willing to see it. As they parted ways, Clara looked back once, her eyes shining with gratitude and hope. Raphael nodded in return, the smile on his face carrying the promise of a future they had yet to discover. The blackout had ended, but their story was just beginning. When everything around us crumbles, when the city loses its glow, it is in human connection that we find our true light. Sometimes it only takes a moment of darkness for hearts to see beyond hate and fear, for hope to ignite the flame of life. If this story touched your heart, don't keep it to yourself. Hit that like button, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and drop a comment below. Your words might inspire the next story. And hey, if you felt something real today, consider subscribing. We're building a community where stories heal, connect, and change lives. One video at a time.